funding limit reconciliation and milestone alignment. So that's another thing people sometimes get confused. Think like this: the project team itself is an entity, and management wants to give you some money and say, take this money and do the work for a while, and then come back, we will give you next money. Yeah. So in a whole project, they may put some milestones where they review your project progress and approve next phase budget. Yeah. Because they may not be able to track your expenses on a daily basis. So these points and amount of money you need approved on those points and reconciling them so that your day-to-day expense matches with that limit is called funding limit reconciliation. It may look like a cash flow analysis as well. So for example, you are a student and your parents are expected to send you some money for your day-to-day expenses. Yeah. So you are spending money daily, but they will not give you the money for the next 1 year. So for example, they give you money in the beginning of the month, and they give you a money which is sufficient for your whole month to run. And by the end of the month, they will review what happened, what left, what is the overall performance, and based on that, they will give you next money. That's a funding limit reconciliation. So we can say month beginning is my milestone review, and I get the money which will help me to run a 1 month. And after that, we have a review and we decide what is the next money has to come. And based on that, I go forward. So similarly, in our project also, so even if I have an overall 500,000 approval, I will say, okay, give me 100,000, which will be good enough for me till the time I reach to a feasibility closer. Yeah. So I might be doing feasibility analysis phase. As an example, it's not necessary each project has a feasibility analysis phase. Assuming if I say that feasibility analysis phase should be able to finish with this 100,000, so give me this. And then once it is done, then you can review what we have done in a feasibility analysis. And then you can approve another 200,000 for my execution phase. That is how we call it funding limit reconciliation. Now, somebody will say, oh, that's just a mapping. Sometimes it can change your project schedule because of that. You can say, I'm agreeing to give you 500,000, but in the beginning, I can only give you 50,000. And I can give you remaining money after 2 months only because we are expecting cash flow from the customer. Customer will make a payment and then only we'll allocate our teams for working on it. Many a time when you work for the external customer, we try to manage our project activities in line with the payment terms in the contract. So whenever we expect a payment, accordingly, we will do the things so that that money is good enough to run a particular phase. And by the time we finish the phase, we expect another set of money should come so that we continue our project. Because as an execution company, I will be trying to manage my cash flow also so that I keep charging my clients, which help us in executing the project. So this all reconciliation is called funding limit reconciliation. Many of you who work in a pre-sales and all, you know how do you design your payment terms. You consider all these things in mind. You want to take some advance so that gives you money to execute a particular duration, and then you ask for second money based on a milestone. So this all is a funding limit reconciliation. You can do it within your organization also, even if you don't have an external client in picture. But if you have an external client in picture, you may consider those factors as well. So that is called funding limit or a milestone alignment or funding limit reconciliation.